Hello everyone, I'm Hormas Sorabji, the editor of Autocar India, and I'm here talking to you from the Telatina handle. Now, with Telatina, we go back some way. I'm the so-called car expert on the Telatina platform. I think a lot of you know what the platform is all about. You just get a whole bunch of experts answering whatever questions you want. So I'm the guy who answers all the car questions. But having said that, today I'm going to be chatting about cars, what is the future of cars, and especially with this lockdown, how things are going to change. We know that in certain states they've already been announced a lockdown going on till May 31st. Obviously that has a lot of implications, but just starting off with, I think when you're locked down, the big challenge is that your cars are unused. So, I want to first talk about what do you do when your cars are lying unused for now coming up to over 2 months. Let's not forget March 21st was or the 24th was when the lockdown was announced. And, we're coming up to 2 months for that. And that's a long time for a car to be lying unused. Well, the good thing is that, today's cars are quite modern, so they're quite easy to start even after a couple of weeks. But it's always a good habit that every week or so, you just start your cars wherever if you can. Obviously, you shouldn't be doing it if it risks health and safety. So clearly, if you do have access to your car in a way that you're not breaking any rules, you're so nicely socially distanced from everyone else, I think it's a good thing to start the car every week or so. Let it warm up, let it idle. If you can take it for a spin around the block, that's also pretty good, because you want your wheels to start rotating. Sometimes the brakes jam when they're being lying unused for a while. And also very important thing is that your tires need to rotate, because if your tires have been the way they are in the same place for a long time, they can deform a bit. They kind of take the shape of where it was standing. So you don't want that. You want the tires to be as round as possible, and just taking it for a short spin is good enough. Other than that, just keep the car clean. Make sure that it's an area where there are no rats. Rats love to get inside the bonnet and really chew up all the wires. So that's something you should be really careful about. So that's basically what you should be doing during the lockdown. But the bigger question is that, should you be wanting to buy a car? Is this a good time to buy a car? Well, that's what a lot of people have been asking. Question really is, I think the thing on everyone's mind is, will you get some good deals, because the car market is so down. I mean, it's just to give you an idea how bad it was. April was an unprecedented month where there was zero sales. Not a single car was sold in the month of April. Surely historic. A month that everyone would forget, but I don't think they would, I don't think people are going to forget that in a long time. So I think, so just talking about the month of April, with zero sales, obviously it's put a lot of pressure on the car manufacturers. It's put a lot of pressure on the dealers because, their overheads keep ticking and there's no revenue coming in at all. So really it's probably a desperate time for the auto industry, especially when, there are no sales at all. Now in May, some areas have opened up, some states have opened up, especially the green zones, which the zoning was done. So I think just looking at that, there are from May 3rd, the lockdown 3.0 allowed some dealerships to be open. But the footfalls are very low. I think looking at the sale, so far it's not, for some manufacturers, it's not even 5% of what they would sell in a typical month. So let's say Maruti would sell about 120,000 cars in a month. We just heard from them that up to now they've sold about 4,000. That might double to 8,000 or 10,000, but still just a fraction of what they've been selling. So I think it's a number of issues. People are very worried to get out, because obviously because of the risk of contracting COVID infection, and it's just rampant all over the place. So people are really worried about going out there. Also, the fact is, I think people are not really in the mood to buy a car right now. I mean, you've got other things on your mind. And so I think it's a combination of all these factors that has kept the demand subdued. Now you would imagine when demand is subdued that, the dealers would be desperate and give you some good deals. Auto manufacturers would be desperate and give you some good deals on cars. But I don't think they're going to be some fantastic deals, for the simple reason that though there's an issue on the demand side, for the first time there's an issue on the supply side also, meaning that manufacturers can't make cars like they used to because of all the restrictions across the country in terms of with the lockdown. So the migrant workers have gone, there are no people around, even supplying parts interstate, that is becoming an issue. Logistics is an issue. So I think just getting all the parts, and a car is made up of so many thousands of parts, getting them all together is very, very difficult to kind of get the numbers. So I think the big question is that some people, but there is a lot of interest. People are looking at buying a car, and the first thing they're asking is, will I get a good deal on one? So it's all to do with demand and supply. I still think that given how muted the market is, there would still be some good deals out there. And in fact, if you go to our website autocarindia.com, the regular listing of all the deals available, if you're in the market to buy a car, you can get some really good deals as well. The other thing which people are talking about is second-hand cars. There's obviously a big interest in used cars or slightly used cars, because people really don't want to lock up their finances that much and spend on a new car. So I think the used car market also is looking up. There's a lot of stock, a lot of availability in the used car market as well. A lot of people want to sell their cars. Times are pretty tough, and I think also what you are getting is lots of good choice in the used car market, which you don't get in new cars. And it's quite a unique situation, because what has happened after April 1st, there's been a regulation change, and with that regulation change, a whole bunch of diesel cars have gone out of the market because they've not been upgraded to that regulation change. So a lot of good diesels have gone, and you can't buy them new anymore. So I think if you want a good diesel, sometimes you would have to look into the second-hand market, where you can get some good diesels. And I'm talking about cars like Renault Dusters, which you can get at a really good price. Your certain Volkswagens, Skoda Octavias, all very, very good diesel cars which have been discontinued because they can't meet the emission norms, and because of that you can get some pretty good deals in the market. There's also what has also happened, and in some cities like Mumbai and a little bit in Delhi and maybe in the south, some dealers have what they call the old BS4 stock, which is the stock of the cars with the older regulation. Now, because they couldn't sell it after April 1 and they landed with the stock, what they did is they've registered it in their own names. So basically, the car is in a way a new unused car, or a used unused car, if the better way of putting it. So a dealer will have a brand new car, it's in his name, but obviously if it becomes a second sale, which is to a customer, you get a huge discount on that. So clearly you can get at least 20 to 25% off on certain models for a brand new car which has practically no kilometers, just as good as coming out of a showroom. The only difference is that to bypass or get around this whole BS6 regulation change, which kind of the law says you cannot sell a BS4 car after April 1st. A lot of people have registered the car, a lot of dealers have registered the car in their name. So that's also one good option you can look at. So let's talk about the future of cars. I think the future of cars is what I would say, everyone's asking, when will the recovery happen? The market is really down. It's very hard to say because very unpredictable, this whole situation. In fact, a lot of predictions have gone wrong. We were hoping this dreaded virus would peak end of April. We were then hoping it would peak in the middle of May, but it's still going up and up. So, really these are very challenging and very uncertain times. And obviously it has a huge impact on the economy, and specifically even the car market, because people are just too scared to get out of their houses, and leave alone, getting out and buying a car. So I think that is really going to impact the overall sale going forward. But I think when the recovery does happen, I suspect it would happen in the lower end of the market, because people are going to want to gravitate towards smaller and cheaper cars. They may not be wanting to spend that much money because the real incentive is not there to drive. You're not going to be able to drive long distances for a while. People are just scared and just want in these tough times to just go about for their regular commuting. And in that sense also, they might want their own private space. So they just people who can afford, people who travel by train or even ride sharing, they can't afford a really fancy car typically. So I think what they do is they would go in for a cheap budget car just to satisfy their personal mobility needs from office to home and wherever. Clearly, of course, parking is going to still be an issue, but I think the main thing is to try and have your own space, and I think that's what people are looking at. I think even a lot of people will jump onto two-wheelers. We see there's going to be a big jump in the two-wheeler market, because clearly I think a lot of people, again, from trains, what they can afford would be their own two-wheelers. Gives them the flexibility, and more than anything, it just isolates them from the surroundings. So I think that's where it's going to be, that I think cars are going to be coming in, let's say at the lower end of the market. And for companies like Maruti, they are very well placed there. And of course, companies will go with brands which have a lot of trust. So I think the established brands is where they're going to be focusing on or looking at. So I think it's then people are talking about online sales and digital, and what's the trend that way. So I think we did a survey at Autocar India, and we found that a lot of people are going to be researching a lot more online. They will be visiting the showroom a lot less. I think finally what they also want is they will want to do a test drive. So obviously people are still not going to buy a car blindly without not having seen it or felt it, because it's a pretty expensive, whatever you say. Cars are still very expensive, and to put that kind of money down, you will want to have some form of test drive or some sort of touch and feel. So I think what a lot of the dealerships are doing going forward in the future is that they're going to be doing a lot of let's say the inquiry, or kind of revamping their website, so customers can get onto the website, see the models, even configure some of the models, see what it looks like. There's going to be a lot of augmented reality, so you really get a feel of the car as much possible digitally. And then finally they will book a test drive, and I think when the test drive is booked, obviously the car will be sanitized, it will be disinfected the way it's been done. I think I think all manufacturers will have to kind of follow these now new protocols, so that customers feel safe when they take a test drive. So obviously that'll mean the kind of, let's say, disinfecting the interior completely, whether it's just wiping down some of the surfaces you touch with disinfectants. Of course, you can't be using things like strong alcohol and all, because that damages things like plastics and the vinyls and stuff like that. But there are materials which specifically for cars, which people are going to be looking at in the future to disinfect the car. But having said that, what I would like to say is if it's actually a good time to buy a car, because if you look at it, it's the best way to kind of isolate yourself. I mean, today the safest form of travel, in the form of protecting yourself against COVID-19, is in a car, because it's yourself in the environment. You're kind of sealed off, so you feel quite secure that way. You're not with people you don't know, people who might be carrying the infection, asymptomatic people, which seems to be the biggest problem. That's also something to worry about. So clearly I think it's a good time to buy a car, and I think it's look out for some deals if you can. Obviously it's you've got to think of everything else before that. And I think I think even a used car is something that you can look at going forward, because there are some really used cars out there in the market. And in fact, even as I said earlier, post this BS6, more reason to buy a used car, because those cars are not being produced anymore. So the only way to get them is in the used car market. So I think buying a car, it's not a bad time at all. And but again, just tread very carefully. Don't be in a rush. Make sure you're getting the good deal, and most importantly, make sure that you're staying safe. So anyway, I'm just going to take some questions right now. That was just a little bit from me. Let me see what the questions are. I've been getting one question is how is the future of luxury cars post COVID-19 in India? Well, I think it's going to be difficult, because I think luxury overall is going to be difficult. It's not something that you desperately need. I even think sometimes now in this day and age, conspicuous consumption might be, I wouldn't say frowned upon, but I think it's just politically correct not to go in for that. So I think luxury cars will have the biggest challenge. The recovery will be, let's say the latest or last for that. recovery will be last for luxury cars. As I said earlier, it'll start with the lower end, and that's how it's going to be. And let me see if I have any other questions. Again, another question is, will anything be different in a car in these days? Well, I think quite clearly there's no difference to the technology. I think there's going to be a big difference in the way people sell cars, the way people interact with let's say dealership people, and just the way people interact with people going forward. I think we're going to be into a norm of social distancing, so I think there's going to have huge ramifications and impact, not just on the retail car industry for cars, but the overall retail industry. The whole concept of going into a showroom, browsing and all. I think a lot more research is going to be a lot more research is going to be done online, and then finally people will have made up their mind. They will just go in and buy whatever they have to, spending minimal time outside or interacting with the salespeople, and that's how it's going to be. So I've got a question: is how about automated car washes? She would be afraid for a washer boy to clean the inside of the car right now post COVID. Yeah, that's a very good point. I think there is a case for an automated car wash because it's something which is not really picked up in India, because honestly for a couple of ₹100 a month you can get someone to just clean your car, and it's just so more convenient because it's done early in the mornings before you leave for work, and the car can be washed every day. Not very practical to do with an automated wash, but you're right. I think if someone getting someone who washes your car, if they're coming from outside, there's always the worry of is he infected, is he carrying the infection. That big worry is there. So I think there is a good chance for that. In fact, a lot of automation is going to come forward, and I think clearly it's a good thing to consider that. In fact, as a business, maybe it might be something worthwhile considering, investing in a car wash where you can go wash your car and bring it back. So another question is, why have companies switched over from making V12 motors to V8 motors? Well, it's a lot to do with the emissions. Because V12 engines, you really can't meet the emission standards anymore. The emission standards are getting very tougher on CO2. So there's this whole kind of trend which has been on for a long time, almost a decade, of downsizing. So from V12 we go to V8, and now even a lot of people are stopping V8s and going to 6 cylinders, whether it's an inline 6 or a V6. So I think clearly there is a trend towards downsizing and having fewer cylinders, purely because that's the best way to meet the international emission norms. Let me see. We've got another question coming in. Is it better to wait some more and see how the market will be to buy a car? Yeah, I think it is better to wait, because it's so dynamic. You really don't know what's happening. Also, there are a lot of new launches waiting to be put into the market. So I think there's a whole kind of queue of new cars waiting to be in the market. So it might be worthwhile just waiting to have a look at that and see what is there. So I would say if you can wait a month or two, might be better to then just think of getting a car. It's better to research right now, see what options you have, but take the final decision a month or two down the road. Another question is, what is the future of electric cars? Does COVID change anything? I think what COVID has done, it has shown that the air is so much cleaner without any, let's say, motorized activity, but I would say even industrial activity. So you can't just blame or you can't just attribute the sudden improvement in air quality to the stoppage of car usage. Overall industrial activity has stopped. So I think it's and the cars are a proportion of that, and within that it's the old cars that really contribute to the pollution, not so much the new cars. But I think what it's going to do is it's going to really put a spotlight on tailpipe pollution, and in that case electric cars really are much cleaner. They don't have tailpipes at all, so they don't emit any kind of pollution when they're on the move. But again, electric cars, it's really not still very feasible. I drive one. I've got a Kona EV right now. It's fantastic to drive in Mumbai, but again, it can't be my primary car. It's got to be a second car, and you've got to keep an eye on making sure that it's properly charged. So yeah, electric cars, I think obviously they're back in the spotlight. A lot of people are going to be seeing that the impact of minimal usage, the lockdown when there are hardly any cars on the road, and what a huge impact it's had on air quality is definitely going to raise this subject and kind of put it in the higher spotlight again. So let me see any more questions. I'll just take about one more because I've got to let's say sign off soon. Someone is asking, is it safe to remap an ECU of a stock VRS? Well, I think it depends who you get it done by. I mean, for us, Pete's, we've been going to Pete's for a long time for remaps of the ECUs. They are pretty good, but remember, it does kind of put extra loads on your engine. Your emissions go for a toss, your catalytic converter goes for a toss, and you do have some of these issues. But honestly, the cars have run quite well. There's been no real major issue. So I think, if you want a little bit more power out of the VRS, which is pretty quick to begin with, you can go in for that. And in fact, actually, the Octavias, they really lend themselves to be remapped just the way they are, and you get a lot of bang for your buck. So yeah, I think you can go ahead and do that. And just absolute last question now: what's an affordable yet reliable car to buy? I mean, that's a very broad question. Don't know what segment it is, but I mean, I would say typically Japanese brands have the best reputation for affordability and reliability. So I mean, starting with the Maruti, they are very good. Hondas are also quite good. Even Hyundai's to a certain extent, but I think Maruti, nothing to beat them for the cost of maintenance, cost of running, and overall cost of ownership. Maruti still come out tops on that, and overall their service is also very, very good. So with that, I will say thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you all. Hope this was useful. And yeah, I know we can't drive right now. Hopefully one day, I mean not one day, I'm sure the lockdown will open up at some point when we can finally get behind the wheel and enjoy our cars. Until then, stay safe and stay well. And thanks for watching. Thank you, and thanks Telatina for giving me this opportunity. Bye.
Yeah, sent a request. Hi, Dada.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good, good. So we're going to give the audience a few minutes. People are still joining in before we start. So let's,
Take time.
yeah, just a
How's,
few.
how's Bombay?
Bombay is good. Today it's a little cloudy, I think, but otherwise fine. What about you? Doing well?
Yeah, it's fine. Chal raha hai.
Dubai must be getting hot now, no? May? Yeah. Hmm.
और क्या? Is light okay on
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah. Light is perfect now. Totally. And your painting at the back is looking stunning, Sujata.
Good, good.
Let's
Need
do
something,
for
na? Something
okay.
which shows data is there.
Absolutely. Your masterpiece behind you.